We have to be kind with the thoughts that we're saying to ourselves because our thoughts are powerful. And when we affirm ourselves, when we tell ourselves that we could do it, when we recognize our own value, when we recognize the good that we have within us, it's easier to get up and move out of these mental ruts and get unstuck and move towards inspiration. Hey, I'm Jade Elysan, a multi-passionate creative based out of New York City who's obsessed with personal development and anything business, from marketing, branding, creating online programs to launches, and helping you step into your true self so that you can share your gifts with the world. Gain insights with manifesting, creating life on purpose, and get ready to elevate yourself in ways that will surprise even you. Included in your weekly dose of inspiration, get ready to be entertained, uplifted, and encouraged to take action with simple and easy to apply tips, tools, and strategies that fit into your busy daily life, sprinkled with some woo-woo along the way. From embracing your confidence to mastering success habits, setting achievable goals, and ways to harness positive mindsets and beliefs so that you can kick self-doubt and your inner critic to the curb where they belong. Whatever's on the topic call sheet, I'll help you navigate the raw, messy, and sometimes hilarious truths of achieving success, abundance, and happiness, all while encouraging you to become the best version of yourself. So think of me as your go-to girlfriend, talking over some coffee, getting real, and giving you some amazing advice to go from hot mess to thriving success. This is the Uber Savvy Life Biz podcast. Hey, welcome back to the Uber Savvy Life and Biz podcast, where together we'll unlock your true potential and design the life and business of your dreams. I'm your host, Jade Elysan, and this is a very special episode because it's our first listener Q&A request. And this request comes in from Evelyn M in New York City, and she wrote in, Jade, what is a proactive tactic to get unstuck? Sometimes I find it hard to stay inspired and get stuck in my daily ruts. Help, girl. Girl, I got you. And you know what? It's completely normal to feel stuck in our daily ruts. I felt stuck even before making this episode for you. For me, it comes with my technology. Even though I like to be ahead with some things, there's some things that I feel stuck with. And I'm like, I have to find a new way to do this. So this is a perfect segue to creating habits that stick and help us move past procrastination or blocks that feel like they're getting in our way of our energy and flow, and begin to move towards something that's exciting that sparks our daily interest. So today's special topic is just for you and anyone else tuning in who ever felt unstuck or might be feeling stuck. This is 5 ways to get unstuck and stay inspired. But before jumping in, if you want weekly inspiration and would like to stay updated when I release new episodes, or would like to submit your own question to be answered on a very special Q&A episode, check out jadeelysan.com and sign up for the VIP Insider List, where you'll get access to your Empowered Morning Mindset Checklist, an awesome download that you'll get completely free just for signing up, which will give you the ultimate caffeine-free boost to supercharge your mornings for success. And also, you get the emails of when to submit your questions. So I'd highly suggest it. So before jumping in fully to this episode, Evelyn, feeling stuck is completely normal. It is something that happens several times throughout the year, even several times throughout the month or week that we're in, depending what season of life we're in. And that brings us to a really cool thing that I learned from the Master Key System from one of my favorite authors, Charles F. Hannell. And this book was written in 1912, and you might think that is an old book, but there is so much wisdom and inspiration in this book. So this is chapter 16, and this is the Barnes & Noble version for anyone who's watching the video version when this comes out. This is the go-to version because the other versions of the Master Key System that are out took out the entire intro for each chapter, which I'm wondering why they would do that, because that's where a lot of the brilliance comes in. So there's something really cool for part 16 in this particular version of the Master Key System, and it's about the law of sevens. And the law of 7 governs the days of the week, the phases of the moon, the harmonies of sound, light, heat, electricity, magnetism, atomic structure, and it governs the life of individuals and nations. Life is growth, and growth is change, and each 7-year period takes us into a new cycle. And that means our first 7 years from 0 to 7, then 7 to 14, then 14 to 21, and then 21 to 28, 29 to 35, and then 36 to 42, and 43 to 50, and then so on. But each phase marks something new. For instance, the phase from 28 to 35, that represents a period of attainment and full growth. And then the period after that is when people begin to acquire property, possessions, home, and family. And then the period after that, from 42 to 50, that's the period of reconstruction, adjustment, and recuperation. That's why you see a lot of new online entrepreneurs coming out, a lot of new changes and shifts of feeling like you want to bring your value in different ways to the world. So if you're feeling stuck, it really depends where you are in your journey of life. And it also really depends too what time of the year it is. I know a lot of times around Mercury retrograde, which is when it looks like Mercury is going backwards in the solar system when you look up where the moon and the sun and the whole astrology system is set up. I'm not completely 100% versed in that, but I do know that Mercury retrograde does affect our communication, human communication, as well as like electronic communication. And it's also a time of year where old friends and people come back into our lives. And it's also a time of year that can make us feel stuck because it's making us look at different things that we have to attend to. That's why a lot of times when there's a Mercury retrograde that comes out, and I think a Mercury retrograde is coming out very close to when this episode airs, there's that feeling of needing to finish old projects or look at something that you haven't accomplished yet that you've been wanting to move towards and do. So feeling stuck is also an energetic thing that has to do with where we are in the solar system, on the planet, with other people in our life, where we are with our careers, our finances, our ability to travel, do adventurous things, our self care, our health, our nutrition, things that matter. It's kind of like looking at what part of your life that you're going through, Evelyn, that you feel stuck in, and then write that down on a piece of paper and say, this is the area that I feel stuck in, and this is where I would like to feel inspiration. Because when you are aware of the area of your life, and I'll just use career just for the example of this episode, and it could be anything. It could be your health, it could be relationships, it could be your home environment, or it could even be feeling stuck in your ability to give self-care to yourself. Whatever area that is, just know that the 5 ways to get unstuck and stay inspired will apply to that. And I'll just probably use the area of career just to make it more focused in terms of this episode. And also just to share too that a time that I was really feeling stuck was in 2016. I had hit like the lowest of lows personally, and I'm sharing this with you because I know that there's a lot of financial uncertainty in the world right now. And for me, it was in 2016 when I had gone through this. And it's easier for me to talk about this now because I've moved past this. But there was a time I was feeling really stuck with my career with acting. I had been at it for 6 years. I wasn't making as much income as I thought I would. I was thriving in my other careers prior to moving into this dream career of mine that I personally chose to step into. And I was just at a point where I just couldn't do much more financially to move my career in acting forward. But I remember reading something, you have to do the best you can with what you have because everything else is just stalling, which is an incredible quote. And I believe I read that in the book Notes of the Universe from Mike Dooley. And I'll link that in the show notes for you. There's a lot of great affirmations in that book. And I remember thinking, wow, just stalling. So I went into meditation one day because that was just the only way I could really stay centered with my own inner self. And I heard create a sketch show. And I created the JD Bunch show, which is, I believe, my 6 to 7 characters. And it's still on my YouTube channel. And it's a very low budget, very single cam point of view, short episodes of different characters. And the reason I left it on YouTube is to remind me that even during my lowest of lows, once I could shift to doing something creative, that will allow me to focus on something that will fulfill myself. And actually doing that and listening to my inner inspiration opened up doors for more income and more opportunities to come in. I believe I 5x'd my income in a matter of 6 months. And it wasn't even because I tried anything new with acting. I just was opening the flow of the universe to give me inspiration to do something creative for myself. So that's why I'm always sharing, do something creative for yourself, even if it's not something that the world will see, if that makes any sense. I have a girlfriend who is an incredible jewelry designer, and I love her jewelry, and I wanted to buy it once. And I know you're listening, and I love you so much. And I still think you should put it out there because other people are going to want to buy your jewelry. And not because you have to sell it, but because you're talented and it's a way of someone else feeling your beautiful energy of your creation of your jewelry on them. So if you're listening, and this is for another friend, that's why I think and share so much how important it is to move towards our creative passions. And that could be why you might be feeling stuck, Evelyn. So let's get into the first way to get unstuck and stay inspired. And that's through consciously creating with yourself and manifesting your true brilliance, hence your creative ability to create something. If that is through your work, if it's through a creative endeavor, if it's through traveling, if it's through health and trying a new fitness routine or incorporating new nutrition into your daily habits, find something new and allow yourself to move towards that. So once you define the areas that you feel stuck in and you circle it and you say, this is the area that I want to feel inspired in, write those areas down and then write the goal that you would actually like to achieve in that area. And once you do that, start to harness that positive mindset shift around that specific area of your life. Because once you do that and you cultivate that positive thought and belief to overcome that self doubt or that feeling of stuckness, you're able to take those emotions and move and shape your reality. And that's how you get out of that daily mental rut. You give yourself new material to think about and interact with on a frequent basis. Because then you say, instead of looking at this area that you felt stuck in, you're looking at the area that you wrote down and say, what is it that I want to achieve? And then you have more positive thoughts. You start to fill in and write other things down in this new area. Okay, well, if it is my health and fitness, then maybe I could try a new fitness class, or maybe I could incorporate new superfoods into my daily routine, which I would love to talk about superfoods. So if you are on my VIP insider list, when you get an email from me about submitting a question and you want to learn more about superfoods or nutrition, I would love to share that with you because that's what gives me a lot of my positive energy and a lot of my positive focus is fueling my body with superfoods. And that will also help get you out of that mental daily rut. So another thing too is that once your energy is in a good mood and you could use your mind as an ally to set super clear intentions. And that allows you to define those goals with more precision and clarity because you're coming from a place of saying, okay, I do know what it is that I want to achieve in this area that I feel stuck in now that I did get clear. And how you could get clear is having a daily meditation or writing affirmations. I love this practice that I put in my book that's coming out. It's you take a piece of paper and on one side, you write the things that might be holding you back or that you don't want. And then you, on the other side of the paper, you write the things that you do want. And then on the side that you don't feel like has any good energy or that you feel stuck in, you put an X through that. And then you can even like rip that side of the paper and throw it out. And then that energy is just out of your vicinity. And now you have this new part of the paper and you could like cut it with a scissor to make a nice straight line if you're type A like me. And then you have this new part of the page that you're looking at and seeing what you actually do want to feel or accomplish in that particular area that you get stuck. That's how you set super clear intentions. And then embrace that imperfect action. I've shared that in another episode, Showing Up Imperfectly Perfect. There's this really cool book. I'll also link that in the show notes for this episode. It's Finish What You Start by Peter Hollins. And there's this part of the book that's super insightful. And it says, You don't need 100% of the information to get started in terms of like moving towards a goal or moving towards something from a place of being stuck or feeling like you're procrastinating. You just need 40 to 70% of the information. Isn't that cool? So, and you probably do it all the time. If you travel, you might look at 2 or 3 towns that you want to travel to. You might look at 3 to 4 Airbnbs in each town, and you might just choose one and go on that road trip, and you don't have all the information. I mean, maybe you do, but maybe you just pick up new information as you go, like where to eat, what cool activities to do, what fun historical buildings are in the area that you could learn about the history of the area and the people of that area and how that town came to become a town, which I always think is super cool. And then rising above challenges. Life's going to throw us curveballs. I mean, when I was filming this episode earlier, I went to go film this. I'm not even joking. My gosh, 4 hours ago. And I was having such trouble with my technology on my computer. And this happened when I filmed another episode too. And I knew that it wasn't necessarily about the episode topic, it was more so about understanding the different apps that I'm using and then using the specific parameters of that app that's perfect for my processing speed on my computer. This particular app I'm using, I need to have 8 processors, and I'm not this technologically advanced person that understands so much about technology, but I do know that having 8 processors on a computer helps the speed of your computer and the processing at a higher rate than having 4 processors, and I have 4 processors on my computer for this particular app that I'm using to record these podcasts on. And oh my goodness, it kept kicking me off. It's like it said something like, you're not utilizing the proper technology or you're not utilizing the proper things. And I thought, oh my goodness. And that's a setback. And you have to rise above those setbacks. We have to rise above those setbacks and use those as stepping stones. And you do that by getting recentered and affirming that you can do this. So I went into meditation. I affirmed to myself, I can do this. I can do this. And I literally got myself to a place of saying, I can do this. I got myself clear. I raised my energy. And don't just take my word for it. A study conducted by the University of Arizona found that individuals who engage in practices such as meditation, visualization, and affirmations are more likely to experience positive changes in their lives, including increased happiness, abundance, and success. So ask yourself, do you have a daily meditation routine? If you are meditating, are you meditating on a daily basis? Are you meditating in the morning to increase your energy? And are you setting intentions and using affirmations during that meditation to really supercharge your soul and your solar plexus and your heart center to be open for the day? And are you using that time to visualize a successful day? That's why I always talk about the Empowered Morning Mindset Checklist. There are literally specific segments that help infuse and remind you of what to do to stay inspired. So if you're not on the VIP insider list, well, actually, you are, Evelyn. I would definitely suggest to go to the website, jadelysan.com, and sign up under where it says Empowered Morning Mindset Checklist so that you do get that specific checklist sent directly to your inbox. And that brings us to the second way to get unstuck and stay inspired is cultivating that confidence and that empowerment in yourself. Speaking your truth. You did speak your truth. So that's awesome. You wrote in and you said, I feel stuck. I want to get inspired. That's speaking your truth. And then being able to break free from like any inner self judgment that you are feeling stuck, acknowledging that and saying, I feel stuck and it sucks. But I know that acknowledging it on its own is enough to help move me towards something else because this isn't working for me. And those are the internal barriers that we have to overcome to move towards our professional and personal growth. And then you could even write this down. I love this. This is like a mantra I say to myself all the time, and it's for ourselves and communication with other people in our lives. It's this. Is what I have to say true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And does it improve the silence? So that's how we could catch our inner critic. And I do that a lot because it's easy for me to kind of get down on myself and look at my to-do list and be like, oh, I didn't do the 10 things I set out to do today. I only did 2. But then take that from me. Maybe give yourself less to do or give yourself one thing to do to move towards. Are you giving yourself something fresh and new to move towards on a daily basis to get out of that daily rut, you know? And then embrace that inner being that you have. because your inner being is your inner genius. And when you practice that mindfulness, that connection to your inner self after meditation, after your morning routine, it allows you to strengthen your passions and infuses you with really incredible knowledge to make better decisions and take that inspired action throughout your day, because it's embracing your inner being, which empowers you to make those choices that are aligned with your true self. And then when you do that, you're able to set bold goals and then take ownership of those goals, because that allows you to step out of your comfort zone and set ambitious goals for yourself in your life and in your business. And when you take ownership of that journey and you take responsibility of the outcomes, no matter what happens from it, you might work towards something new every day, just 10 minutes a day. And that itself is enough momentum to get you moving out of that feeling of being stuck, out of that mental rut, and move you towards inspiration. And it's giving your mind new material to think about. And giving your mind new material to think about, that could be as simple as listening to a new podcast episode like the Uber Savvy Life and Biz podcast, or listening to the bonus recaps, which jump straight to the strategy or the action steps for each of the episodes. If you just want new infused energy and just want to feel like, okay, I'm going to focus on this today, it could be a new YouTube video. Sometimes giving yourself new things to think about in terms of what suggestions are the YouTube videos sharing with you. There's like new thought leaders on YouTube all the time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they have this many followers and they have this many videos. I'd never even heard of them, but they share some things. Sometimes I'll listen to their full episode if I can, and sometimes I listen to just a little snippet, but it's enough to give me that boost to give my mind new material to think about. And I would invite you to do the same for yourself. And then surround yourself with positivity. That's this new material to think about. Surround yourself with books, with other like-minded people. Surround yourself with someone who might be a few steps ahead of you in terms of your health or nutrition or career or livelihood or your passion or a project or somebody who's traveled to a place. When you start to surround yourself and seek out mentors who could help you and friends and communities that could uplift your spirit and encourage you to pursue your passions, that's really when the inspiration just starts moving you, and that momentum will pull you forward and you'll feel it and you'll know that you shifted out of being unstuck. And then practice those daily affirmations, as I shared. Another thing that you could do with daily affirmations, because it's like, just affirm yourself. I know that's so easy to just say, just affirm yourself. But sometimes the affirmation could literally be as simple as, I got this. I can do this. It doesn't have to be all unicorn sprinkled, like, you're going to have a positive juju day, even though I'd like to say that all the time. Literally, I love unicorns for anybody tuning in. My hubby gets me a unicorn card for every birthday, and he gets me several unicorn cards, and he somehow finds them without the birthday dates. And this woman at the card store looked at him the last birthday that I had, which was just a month ago. And she goes, daughter. And he looked at her and he goes, wife. And he giggled. And then she giggled. So find those little things that do infuse you with that unicorn magic. But like I said, if it's just as simple as saying, I got this, I could do this, I'm going to pick myself up. I've figured things out that are way harder than this. Just give me the inspiration that I need to move forward. And it could be as simple as opening up YouTube, seeing a morning affirmation thing by The Honest Guys. I love The Honest Guys. The Honest Guys are my favorite British duo who has the most incredible meditations, and they're all free. So if you're chiming in and you're like, did Jade just break out in a British accent? Yes, I did. I used to live, I didn't used to live there. Well, I did live there actually when I was studying abroad and I was doing the university. I lived in Kensington Gardens, and I actually didn't even realize that speaking in this way was very posh. I didn't know what posh meant until I came back to the States and they said, no, that's like a really high-end area. And I thought, well, thank God my school paid for it. I mean, I paid a little bit for it, but I was able to go as, I guess, part scholarship and part program, or maybe I did go full program. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get back to you on that. It was so long ago. No, it was yesterday. I just went and studied abroad a year ago. Okay, I digress. But affirm yourself, Evelyn, because you do got this and you are a brilliant, incredible person and you do have a bright soul and you have so much value. And if it's just a matter of, like I said, tuning in to a podcast like this and surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people, then do that. And then the third way to get unstuck and stay inspired is igniting that passion and that purpose to have that unstoppable drive. And how do you do that? You do that by getting clear. You do that by writing your goals down. You do that by identifying what your true passions are and aligning them with your aspirations. So, what does that mean? Okay, well, we go to work, we grind out, we sit at a desk sometimes for some jobs, right? We do our 9 to 5 job or whatever type of career that you have. And we do that. Why? Because it supports us financially. It provides income. It allows us to live the lifestyle that we have. We do it because it provides food. It provides us the opportunity to travel, to meet new people. So think about this. Think about something that you love doing that you would do even if you didn't have to get paid. And that's what your passion is. And if you have that passion and you make time to do that passion, I promise you, 10 minutes a day, there will be so much inspiration in your life. I had a coach who was my acting coach on camera. He was also a producer and director who won several short film awards for directing and producing his own short films. And I did a short film workshop, I believe, when I was like really into acting. And I love acting. I also love coaching. And I also love stepping into this new version of being a podcast host and helping inspire, encourage you, and motivate you to take action to things that matter to you in your life. And this particular coach said to me, he's like, Jade, you have so much to give. You could be a producer. And I never really knew what he meant by that. And now I do, because he's saying, like, you have the ability to break down a project and look at the task at hand and do those things. And then what really resonated with me with him was he said, just write 10 minutes a day in terms of like writing our script. He goes, if you dedicate 10 minutes a day, that is enough that after a month of doing it, that 10 minutes will go to 20 minutes a day. It might turn to 30 minutes a day. And then all of a sudden you're exercising this muscle of showing up for yourself. So that's what I mean by igniting your passion and purpose for that unstoppable drive. Showing up for something because you love it so much and you don't need to get paid to do that. That's the thing that's going to light you up to stay inspired. And then maybe one day that's something that would sustain you with your income if that's something that you want to do. And that's what I coach in my programs to do, to take your business idea and bring it to others online and create those online programs. And I'll actually put a link in the show notes of how to find out more about that when those programs open up. And just be intentional and prioritize your goals. Prioritize your day so that if you do have a 9 to 5 job that you go to, that you prioritize it in a way that you're segmenting at least 10 to 30 minutes a day to work on that passion of yours. And then set at least 1 month to work on that. And that could be looking at your goal from the beginning of the episode. Oh, this is the thing that I need to work on, or this is the thing I feel stuck on. This is the thing I will work on to fill in. Like I said, with your health or nutrition or relationships, I'm going to work on that for 10 minutes a day. I have a super close friend. Oh, I love this person so much. And I know their soulmate exists. And I know their soulmate is looking for them as much as this person is looking for their soulmate. And then I share, well, what are you doing that's different that's going to align you with your soulmate? Are you going to places that you might bump into your soulmate? Are you reading books that your soulmate might read? Are you putting yourself with online communities of like-minded people where your soulmate might hang out? You know, are you taking adventures that your soulmate might do? And are you going to have that 10 minutes to be able to like go out into the world to do that? No, but you'll have those 10 minutes to write those things down every day so that when you do have time to go do that, you'll act in a way that will put you at the right place at the right time with the right people and right circumstances and events, and it will line up. And then that's where the synchronicity lines up. That's where the rendezvous lines up. That's where you fall in love, or you bump into somebody, or you hit your head when you go to pick up something that fell on the floor at the same time and you say, ow, and then you look into their eyes and you freaking fall in love. I mean, who knows? I love rom-coms, so I could go on about that. And then make sure that you also visualize in different ways. So you could create like an online vision board in the sense of going onto Pinterest and then creating different folders of things that will inspire you. Like I do that with really lavish trips and really incredible vacations and really outlandish houses that I would never have any use for every single room of a ginormous house with my hubby and my furry kitties. But I look at those and I'm like, oh, that looks like a luxurious resort. And my crab shell could expand to many rooms. So if I'm having a bad day, I could just go to the different wing of the house. I digress. And then after you create that vision board, then you're excited. You have something to look forward to do. Limit that though to like 10 to 15 minutes a day. I like to limit my social media to like 10, 15-minute increments throughout the day, at least 3 times a day, because there's like this different energy that social media brings us into, right? We start to look at other people's lives. We're like, oh my God, their life is so much better than mine. But it's just all like shiny object syndrome, right? We all want to get unstuck. We all want to get inspired. And that's what I'm hoping to help you with in this episode. And then track your progress, just write down one win that you had for the day or write down your daily wins. When you do that, you feel good about yourself. Like I got up and I walked around the block today instead of sitting down all day. And I did it in the rain. Great sages would walk in no matter what the weather is. And I believe we all have like that great sage, inner wisdom, inner genius energy within us because we're all one, aren't we? We all want the same thing. We all want love. We all want to feel connected. We all want to work towards something that will fuel us. And that's what I'm really hoping to inspire you with this episode. And that brings us to the middle of the episode. If you're enjoying this episode, it would be so amazing if you could share it with 3 friends that you feel would feel inspired by the topics discussed in this episode. And if you could potentially give it 5 stars on the podcast app you're listening on, it really helps get in front of more like-minded individuals like yourself. And it really allows me to help bring you more content just like this. And don't forget to visit jadelysan.com to grab your free empowered morning mindset checklist and also get weekly inspiration delivered straight to your inbox. And then you'll be able to find out about the emails and submit your own Q&A for these Q&A listener episodes. And the 4th way to get unstuck and stay inspired is through being able to navigate through times of uncertainty and embrace that change as opportunity. My heart goes out to the entertainment industry. There are hundreds of thousands of jobs at stake right now. I feel so blessed to be a part of the industry, and it also like makes my heart just hurt because there's so many talented, incredible people, actors and casting directors and writers and directors who are uncertain about what's happening. And all I could say is that if you are tuning in and you're from this industry, to just embrace this time as an opportunity to look at other parts of you that you have these unique gifts and talents that you could bring to the world. I feel super thankful that I started my online coaching business. And if that's something that you would like to do, or maybe you want to create a digital product or create an online program, or just do something that's different to keep your focus going through these times of uncertainty, I would definitely suggest for you to check out the show notes, because when my programs open up, that's exactly what I help coach and guide you to do from A to Z, is create something and put it out there. And one of my very first programs that I put out was the Spotlight Your Biz on Camera, which came out a couple years ago when the world was closed. And I signed up 6 clients immediately to that program, incredible clients. And if I could help you create a program from A to Z and put it out there, I would be so happy to do that. So take any time of uncertainty, embrace it as a change for opportunity to grow for yourself, and be mindful and start to practice mindset shifts anytime you feel your mind going to like a negative town, because it could be really hard through times of uncertainty, and see where you might feel that scarcity and try to shift that scarcity to abundance. And you might be like, Jade, that's hard. This is my livelihood. But you could also say, all right, well, I have an abundance of time to focus on other things that could fuel me and bring me more excitement and fuel my passions, to maintain that positive outlook for yourself. So I also have this like funny thing that I do. that anytime I have a negative thought, I was doing it for a little bit with this glass mason jar. I'd put a dollar bill in and then I would have to monitor my thoughts so that over a few days I'd put less and less dollar bills in. And then when you get to like only a few dollar bills a day, then you know that you really are in power of your thoughts and you're practicing mindfulness and you're shifting. Anytime you have that like negative thought or that feeling of scarcity for what you might be going through, you could just move out of being stuck to being inspired and being like, okay, what is it that I do want? What is it that I do want? What is it that I do want? Build that high vibe supportive network. We're the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. I say that all the time. If that means that you surround yourself with a couple thought leaders on YouTube that you tune in on, get your positive boost of inspiration. If you tune into the Uber Savvy Life and Biz podcast on the weekly basis when these new episodes come out, and then you also download the bonus recaps to get that positive infusion of energy to stay motivated and clear, definitely do that and see who you're hanging out with and see who could, bring more to the table, and then be the leader in the group and say, hey, let's talk about more positive things. I mean, obviously, if you're in a group of friends, it's normal to like vent and share things, but like stay on that for 5 to 10 minutes and then move towards something that's more productive, that's going to allow your mind to move forward. That's another thing too, from feeling stuck and wanting to be unstuck to move to being inspired, is also the conversations we're having with ourselves and with the people that we're hanging out with on a daily basis or a weekly basis. And then stay focused on what you can control, right? We can't control everybody outside of ourselves. We could only control our own thoughts and our own responses. And sometimes we all go through different things. So it's not to be insensitive that somebody might have more of a negative mindset towards something, but it's like, how could we rephrase that? And how could we uplift them? And that's just really focusing on what you can control. And then always find new ways to expand your mind and have like that daily learning segment or that daily growth segment where you're picking up a book or, like I said, listening to a new YouTube video. And then finally, the 5th way, which is the final way to get unstuck and stay inspired, is finding inspiration in daily moments. Like I just mentioned, those YouTube videos, those little snippets of positive advice, of positive reinforcement, of encouragement, of motivation that will lift up your energy. And then when you have that, it's easy to be mindful and observe the good things and the small details of your life that are going well, like your place that you set up. Could you remember a time when you moved into the place that you live in and that excitement that you felt when you got to fill it in with the design that you wanted to feel? Even if it's not the place that you're settling in forever, just look at things that you have that maybe other people don't have, and then start to shift to that mindful observation and be excited and thankful for little things that you manifested in your life that weren't there before. And then celebrate your daily wins. I like to write down 3 to 4 things every day that I've accomplished, because that, when we record our progress, it helps to boost our motivation and it just reminds us of our own capabilities. And then continue to engage in those creative pursuits. Embrace creative outlets like painting or writing or music. I used to play the acoustic guitar and it always boosted my mood. All my furry kitties would come and hang out. I actually learned how to play Hurt by Johnny Cash and another song by Florence and the Machines. And it's been a while, but I could play and it does vibrate a higher frequency in my cells when I pick up the guitar. So try something new, because that could unlock new ideas and provide you a fresh source of inspiration. And connect with your passion, just like I shared earlier. Set aside that 10 minutes every day, like my coach told me when it came to writing the short film that I was working on a few years back. When you set aside that time to write, or you set aside that time for yourself, that 10 minutes grows to 20 minutes, grows to an hour. And then now you're giving to yourself, you're staying inspired, and you're seeking out that thing that fuels you. And then also look for new experiences. Step out of your daily routine and find something new that will stimulate your mind and introduce you to a new, fresh perspective. I'd like to leave you with this. You could do like an inspiration quest. You're like, I'm going to do an inspiration quest. I'm going to go on a field trip for myself and seek out new inspiration daily. And it could be like a positive conversation that you overheard at the coffee shop, or it could be just seeing loved ones hold hands and be excited for that. Or it could be somebody walking out at the gym and feeling like, wow, they committed time to themselves and they're probably feeling really good about stepping out of their house or their workplace to give to themselves. And then do some nightly affirmations. I like to hold this crystal smooth rock when I go to sleep at night. And it just infuse yourself with some positive affirmations of something that you accomplished in the day and be like, I did that. I got through that. It can even be as simple as like, I walked in the rain. So just remember these 5 ways will help you get unstuck and stay inspired. And they're designed to help move you towards your personal and professional growth in your life and biz. Which leaves us with this really beautiful quote. Belief in oneself is one of the most important building blocks in building any successful venture. Lydia M. Child. That brings us to the end of the episode, and I'll just recap some of these main takeaways. So 5 ways to get unstuck and stay inspired. The first way to get unstuck and stay inspired is to have that conscious creation with yourself to manifest your true brilliance. And that's getting super clear on your goals, writing down the areas that you feel stuck in, and then writing down the goal that you would like to feel like you would rather have. And that's really designing your dream life and your dream biz and using law of attraction with your thoughts and emotions and beliefs with your goal, and embracing that concept of conscious creation to take that inspired action towards manifesting your true brilliance. And then also harnessing those positive mindset shifts, cultivating those powerful positive thoughts and beliefs to overcome any self-doubt or negativity, and then recognize that you can consciously replace those limiting beliefs. And you do that by meditating, by visualizing, by allowing yourself to get out of that mental daily rut. And when you raise your vibration up, it's easier to focus from a good mood to set clear intentions because you already defined that goal. And then you could do that with precision and clarity and set aligned intentions with your true self to move towards your passions, whether it's with your career, your health, your relationships, and then embracing that imperfect action, which I totally went into in another episode, and rising above those challenges anytime life throws us a curveball, because it's going to happen. And just learn from those setbacks and use those as stepping stones to move yourself forward. And that brings us to the second way to get unstuck and stay inspired, which was cultivating confidence and empowerment. So speaking your truth, developing that confidence and expressing your authentic self. You were able to express your authentic self, Evelyn. You said, I feel stuck. I want to get unstuck and be inspired. That's the first step, recognizing that. And then asking yourself, is what I have to say true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Does it improve the silence for yourself and for the person you're talking to? We have to be kind with the thoughts that we're saying to ourselves because our thoughts are powerful. And when we affirm ourselves, when we tell ourselves that we could do it, when we recognize our own value, when we recognize the good that we have within us, it's easier to get up and move out of these mental ruts and get unstuck and move towards inspiration. And then embracing your inner being's guidance and hearing those intuitive things from your inner genius to move you towards making better choices that align with your true self, because that's going to be how you get out of your comfort zone and set ambitious goals for your life and business, because you're able then to give yourself new material to think about, and then surrounding yourself with positivity, more like-minded people, people who have accomplished things that you wanted to accomplish, those who are a few steps ahead of you, seeking out mentors and friends and communities that will boost your spirits and encourage you to pursue your passions. That positive influence really does play a vital role in your life and helps you stay motivated and prevents you from being stuck. And just remember, we're the company we keep. And also practicing those daily affirmations. Write down 2 to 3 every day. Like I said, they don't have to be like, I am a positive unicorn jelly bean. Oh my God, I just made that up. But it could be like, it could be like, I got this. I could do this. I can do this. You could do this. You can do this. You got this. You can be inspired. You are inspired. And then just start to say, I am inspired. I love being inspired. Inspired feels so much better than being stuck. And then just leave the word stuck behind. I love being inspired. I prefer being inspired. That brings us to the third way to get unstuck and stay inspired, is igniting your passion and purpose and have that unstoppable drive. And that's infusing your purpose into your daily actions. That's taking 10 minutes a day to start working towards those deep-rooted passions of yours and that purpose and whatever drives you to work. If you do work for a company, whatever drives you to show up every day, use that same fuel to show up for yourself. Because if you have a passion and you love what you do, then you'll know, I don't feel like I need to be paid to do this. This just fuels me. And when you give yourself that 10 minutes a day, that momentum will build up. And then you're able to be intentional and prioritize your goals and focus on those few core things on a daily basis so that you prevent yourself from becoming overwhelmed and then getting stuck again, and just working on like one main thing a month or one main thing every 3 months. It could be like a 5K race that you're working towards, or it could be adopting a new way of being healthy and adding new superfoods, which I would love to talk about in a superfood episode. And then you're able to break down your goals and have actionable steps that excite you and that make you want to do it. And then you could create a online like vision board on Pinterest of things that excite you when you look at that. But limit that to 10 to 15 minutes a day. And then you're able to track your progress and really focus on things that you did, that you accomplished in your day. Because when you do that, that's what's going to keep you inspired, which brings us to the fourth way to get unstuck and stay inspired. And that's through thriving in times of uncertainty, embracing change as an opportunity for you to grow. So, whatever industry you're in, if it feels like there's some uncertainty, use this as a time and shift out of that scarcity mindset. And I've been there and I know what that feels like. Sometimes it might feel easier said than done, but once you do all the 4 ways prior to this, it will be easy to raise your vibration. And you could look, am I feeling scarcity in this particular area of my life? Do I feel stuck here? Do I feel like these external circumstances are going to define where my success could come from? And if that's happening to you, instead reframe it and see if you could utilize that as a way to look for new opportunities and avenues for progress in your life to bring more of your own unique strengths and values to the world. And if that means creating an online program, if that means starting a coaching business, if that means starting a completely new career, definitely do that. And I have the coaching programs that I'm going to link below that you could definitely check out. And when those spots open up, it's good to be on my email list, because then you'll know if you resonate with my energy and you think that this is fun to learn and to grow here, it's even more powerful in the programs, because the group programs, there is more of that group like mind, and the one-on-one gives us an opportunity to grow and really focus specifically on what your goals are. And then that allows you to have more mindfulness and gratitude, because then more people are around you that want to help out. And then also you could shift that mindfulness to feeling thankful for the time that you do have to build, and allowing yourself to stay high vibe with that supportive network. So being around those 5 people that you want to emulate their energy and want to raise yourself up to be around, because they could help move you forward. I know that it's easier to say, let's always turn this negative thought and spin it to being a Pollyanna type of point of view, but the glass is always full. It's always full with air, half full with air, half full with water. They're both life-giving. It's how you want to reframe it. And I'm hoping that you're able to reframe it from listening to this episode. And then a couple more ways is to focus on what you can control. And you know that you can't control other people's responses, but you can control how you respond to them. And just find new ways to expand your mind on a daily basis and grow with the opportunities of new books that can inspire you, new ways of thinking, new YouTube videos, new thought leaders. And finally, the 5th way to get unstuck and stay inspired is finding inspiration in daily moments. When you worked on all the previous ways, it's easy to practice mindful observation on the good things, listening to that good conversation at the coffee shop that uplifted you, or seeing that couple hold hands, or seeing the person walk out of the gym and feeling like I could do this. And then celebrate your wins and engage more in those creative pursuits, writing, painting, music. I'm definitely going to pick up my acoustic guitar again. There's such high vibe energy that comes from playing it. And when you step into that creative expression, it unlocks new ideas and provides a fresher source of inspiration for you to move forward, to feel inspired. And connecting with your passion on a daily basis, that's so important. Just set aside that 10 minutes because you deserve it. You're so important in the grand scheme of life. And if you're doing things that help fuel you on a daily basis, you raise the vibration of yourself and those around you. And that's a true positive ripple effect around the planet. If we could all just embrace that inner sense of empowerment within ourselves and step into this place of knowing that our energy does have a positive effect on others, our life collectively could shift up. And then, seek those new experiences, find new things, do an inspiration quest. I'm going to take a daily field trip to find something new that inspires me daily to unleash my creativity. I'm going to go read a book, or I'm going to go see if I could find something new on my walk that I haven't seen before. And then do those nightly affirmations. Because whether you have a totem, like a totem is, holding on to something. I have my crystal rock that's smooth, and you say 3 things that you're thankful for from your day. Even if it was a bad day, just talk about things that are general to yourself. Like, I'm thankful to still have my eyesight. I'm thankful to have my 2 hands and my 2 feet. I'm thankful for this bed. And then you could go to sleep at least with a more uplifted vibration. And then you could wake up the very next day to a whole new start. So I really hope that these 5 ways to get unstuck and stay inspired helped motivate you and uplift you. And Evelyn, thank you so much for writing this question in. If anyone else resonated with this question, and if anyone else felt that this episode was helpful, that was my intention. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Uber Savvy Life and Biz podcast. That was awesome. I truly appreciate you. Stay committed to your vision, take consistent action, and know that great things are on the other side of that door. Because remember, only you hold the key to unlock your dream life. So why not start today? I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Can I just say, you're awesome. You just finished an episode of the Uber Savvy Life and Biz podcast. If you like this episode, feel free to leave a nice review and rate it 5 stars if you found it helpful. But if not, please don't rate it 4 stars. Just ignore this part. However, if you did like it, make sure you share it with a friend who may find some value in the topics discussed today. Be sure to share it with them, because you never know who you could uplift. Also, if you want more, check out the show notes in the description, which would include any links that may have been mentioned in this episode. Are you still listening? Are you waiting for a blooper reel? That'd be a really fun idea to throw in at times. But seriously, are you tired of foggy mornings? Go to jadeelysan.com to grab your ultimate caffeine-free boost to supercharge your mornings for success. That's right, your empowered morning mindset checklist. Your great day is just a thought away. Feeling stuck. Oh my gosh. Girl, this episode is for you. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Gracious. Holy cannoli. Like, what the? Excuse my language. Oh my God. Feeling stuck. I feel freaking stuck in this chair. What a good topic. Literally. Sometimes it's like the energies of life, I think, personally. Seriously, I already recorded this for you. Why am I doing it again? I don't know. Because I'm like, does anybody want to sit through an hour-long episode? Like, let's be serious. Awesome. Let's see what happens.